It's another edition of Time About the Movies. We're at the halfway point of 1992, July 3rd, Independence Day weekend. And while last year we had Terminator 2, this weekend we don't have a big blockbuster like that, but we do have two decent comedies that came out of 92 that weekend in 92. And we're going to start off with the first one that we have here. That is Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna, and an all-star cast in Penny Marshall's follow-up to Big. That movie is, well, actually Big and Awakenings, but this was a comedy that she made after those two movies. It's the baseball comedy A League of Their Own. So not only do you have Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, Madonna, Lori Petty, this was a big breakout film for Rosie O'Donnell, even though she'd been around before then in other movies. This was the first movie that really got her name out there. You also have John Lovitz in there, David Strathairn is in this, Gary Marshall, Bill Pullman. The writers of this, Laurel Gans and Babalu Mandel, are the same guys that wrote City Slickers and a lot of Billy Crystal's movies. Like I said before, Penny Marshall directed this movie, and really, it is a great movie. It's a great film. It's a very fun piece of entertainment. Tom Hanks in particular is hilarious as Jimmy Dugan. He's amazing in this, and he's got to work with all these actresses, and he keeps up with them a lot because the women really do steal the show in here. Gina Davis is always going to give a good performance, and Madonna here is very funny at times. Lori Petty also has a good role here. Rosie O'Donnell, like I said, it was her big breakout role that really got her name out there. It's a good cast that they have here, and they have a really good script to work with, and a fun concept to work with as well. And it definitely shows on screen. It's very funny. It's a very much a crowd pleasing movie, and it's just a ton of fun all around. It has great memorable lines to it, great bits of comedy, great bits of drama, great bits of entertainment all around, and it's just a very fun movie all around. It's just a movie that really, when you watch it, you just can't help but really find yourself just falling in love with it every time you watch it. Like, it's a movie that every time it comes on, you just got to stop what you're doing and just watch it. It's just an enjoyable comedy all the way through. It's a movie that still holds up to this very day, and it was a huge success. It spawned not only one show that's currently on Amazon Video at the time of this recording on October 3rd, 2022, but even after the movie came out, like not even a year after the movie came out, CBS already had a series in development and they put it on the air. And not surprisingly, it didn't last very long. It only had 6 episodes, but only 5 of them made it to air before they eventually pulled the plug on it because, kind of like what they would do with other shows like this, most notably of recent memory, My Big Fat Greek Wedding had a series that was on CBS not too long after the movie came out, My Big Fat Greek Life, which didn't even last a full season. It was like the movie had been out in theaters all summer, and the show was on TV within like the following spring. And like I said, it didn't do very well, and the CBS show didn't do very well. But the Amazon show has gotten some good reviews. I actually don't know if it got another season. I'm looking at the page right now for it, and I don't think it did. I don't think it has yet, but I mean, it could get. I mean, it's still too early on. I think Amazon usually waits a couple of months to see what the viewer output is. So who knows? Maybe it'll get another season. But I haven't seen it yet, so I have to check it out at some point. But as far as the original movie goes, it's a classic film on so many levels. Just a great, fun piece of entertainment. I love it a lot. A League of Their Own. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie that we have, the last movie that we have, actually. It's Eddie Murphy starring in the comedy Boomerang from the director of House Party, Reginald Hudlin. What's interesting about this particular movie, in fact, this year in particular for Eddie Murphy, is that he was kind of on a downward spiral for a little bit. His movies weren't really the big successes that they were in the 80s. I think that started with Harlem Nights not being a big hit, and then another 48 Hours after that. And then he had this movie, and then he had another movie, The Distinguished Gentleman, which we'll get to that one later on in the year. They were both, as Boomerang was a hit, I don't think The Distinguished Gentleman was not, and it was kind of like a roller coaster in the early '90s for him before his career kind of took a comeback in the late '90s with stuff like The Nutty Professor and then Dr. Dolittle. But we'll get to those ones later on down the road. But when it comes to this movie compared to other Eddie Murphy films, it gets kind of a mixed reaction. Some people like it. Some people hate it. You're really on one side of the coin on this one. You either really like it or you really hate it. Me personally, I'm on the side of it where I do enjoy the movie very much. It's a very predictable, cliched film at various points, but overall, it is a pretty funny movie. I actually like the concept of Murphy playing this womanizer who gets his comeuppance, and you have a woman who pretty much does the same thing as he does. And again, Robin Givens, man, we talked about her when she did A Rage in Harlem. She was a really good actress back then, and she really, I mean, she has to keep up with Eddie Murphy in this movie, and she does that so well. You saw it in the trailer, and it's just hilarious to watch at times, some of the ways that she outplays Eddie Murphy at times. You also have a really good cast in here. A young Martin Lawrence is in this, Chris Rock, Halle Berry, Eartha Kitt, Grace Jones, David Allen Greer, Jeffrey Holder. For Reginald Hudlin to come off of House Party and then do this, he does a pretty good job with it, and I think the script does a very good job of trying to create some new ways to kind of tell the story around. It doesn't really work all the time, but for what the movie is trying to do, it definitely fits that bill. And kind of like with The League of Their Own, it did spawn a TV series as of recently. It was on BET. I think they actually flipped the script on it where it was a female. It was a where Eddie Murphy's character was a female in this one, and it was a gender bending performance or something like that. I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on that one too much. But I think it did pretty well. I think it did last for a couple of seasons, and I think it was just canceled recently. I'm gonna check right now. I have the page right here. It was on for like 2 seasons, and yeah, basically it was kind of like it was kind of like a sort of it was kind of like a continuation of the series, except the roles were kind of reversed in terms of the story from the first film into this one. Like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't really comment on it too much, but I mean, it got some decent reviews from what I'm looking at here, so maybe it was worth something. Maybe it was one of those shows that had to get canceled because of the Paramount Plus movement or something like that. But like I said, I can't really comment on the show too much. I have seen the movie. I just watched it again on Blu-ray recently. It's still a very good movie that still holds up. It's very hit and miss story-wise, but I think the film does a good job with its cast, jokes, and directing and writing overall to make it worthwhile in the end. Not one of Eddie Murphy's best movies, but it's still good enough to recommend it. If you want to see a decent Eddie Murphy film from him, this is definitely the film that's going to work for you. So that's Boomerang for you. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. Next time, we'll have 4 movies to look at. We got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren in Universal Soldier. Ralph Bakshi's Cool World, which is going to be a very interesting one to talk about because it's a trip of a film. We'll definitely delve into that one as well. We've also got Alec Baldwin and Meg Ryan in Prelude to a Kiss, and also The Best Intentions. So 4 movies to look at. Hopefully with the usual lighting setup I usually have here next time around, since we're going to be doing more than just 2 movies. But that's it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another episode. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. And until then, as always, take care.